To our top story now. The justice system failed. That's the reaction from one of the families of the August 3rd Walmart shooting.
Well, this comes after District Attorney James Montoya announced this week he would not be seeking the death penalty against the shooter. The DA says that the conversations with the families and the victims and the families was what ultimately led up to that move.
But one of the victims' family members who disagreed with that decision reached out to us. Our Diana Castillo reports.
A failure of the justice system. That's how some family members of one of the victims from the Walmart shooting described the decision to no longer pursue the death penalty, while the district attorney's office maintains that this is the best way to move forward.
It felt like my whole world shattered again because that was not the news that I was expecting to hear.
It's news that came as a shock to many. The gunman who killed 23 people in a racially motivated attack in 2019 no longer facing the death penalty, instead offered a plea deal where the gunman would plead guilty to capital murder and receive life in prison with no possibility of parole.
He wrote a manifesto. And the two questions that are asked, is he still considered a danger to his community? Of course he is. Look, he will spend the rest of his life, fortunately, in the prison. And in my opinion, I guarantee that his mindset will not change.
It's something that hits close to home for Lida and Ricardo Cuellar, sister and brother-in-law of Jordan Anchondo. She, along with Andre Anchondo, died that day protecting each other and their 2-month-old baby from the gunfire.
This wasn't a spontaneous act. This was deliberate. This was thought out. So choosing not to pursue the harshest, punishment sends the wrong message to me, in my opinion, about accountability and justice.
However, El Paso District Attorney James Montoya said during a press conference on Tuesday that the decision wasn't an easy one to make, but came after conversations with the victims and the victims' families.
I don't want to discount this, though. There are victims' families who wanted to pursue the death penalty all the way into the end, no matter what. But the overwhelming majority did not.
Montoya adding that the trial in El Paso with an impartial jury likely wouldn't have been possible, saying it would have likely resulted in a change of venue, further delaying the trial, possibly as late as 2028.
Unfortunately, this isn't the end of it. Even after trial ends, he takes the plea bargain. We're going to still continue to advocate for Jordan and her justice because I believe that true justice is still speaking on her behalf.
With the death penalty off the table, the gunman is now scheduled to enter a guilty plea on April 21st. In the newsroom, Diana Castillo, KTSM 9 News.